So Donald Trump is considering pardoning Diddy, the diddler. And this really should be to no one's surprise. I mean, not just because of Donald Trump's history, his sexual history, his history of misconduct with women, but also Donald Trump's been pardoning everybody. He's been pardoning people just because they mom or their cousin come to one of his banquets and give him a few $100,000, maybe a couple $1,000,000. And he's been going on these pardoning sprees. And he's literally right now considering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, the notorious international child trafficker, that woman. Of course, that woman. He's considering pardoning her. So it should be to no one's surprise that he's doing the same thing for Diddy. But according to a report from TMZ, he's literally mauling this over. And we're going to check out a video from Megyn Kelly, who's telling him, please don't do this. Please reconsider, because, Donald Trump his term is in free fall. Not only has he broken all of his campaign promises and signed the big, beautiful bill, which puts millions of people's lives into disarray, but he's caught up in this Epstein shit. So now it's just like, this would not help. And she's trying to warn him about the fee vote. But let's get it. We'll get into that in a second. So we got Donald Trump's White House has been in communication with Diddy's legal team about a potential pardon for the music mogul. And we've learned the decision may be determined by the judge's rule on bail. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Donald Trump is, quote, more than open to pardoning Diddy. Again, of course he is. Of course he's more than open to it, especially if you give him a bribe and kiss his ass a little bit. He'll do whatever. He wants to wait and see what Judge Aram Subramanian does with Diddy's latest bail petition. We're told if Diddy is granted bail, hold on, where did it go? If Diddy's granted bail, Trump will not make a decision on a pardon until Diddy is sentenced. I mean, it sounds to me like Trump's just kind of testing the waters and seeing how it would go for him. I don't know. But it goes without saying, Diddy doesn't deserve a pardon. I mean, for the decades of abuse that he put, not just obviously Cassie and his other victims, and not just the abuse that he put people through physically, whether it's women or men. He is known for ripping people off. That's a lot of how he got as wealthy as he is. Sure, he had a bunch of endorsement deals and he found a lot of stars and stuff like that, but he's notorious for not paying people what they deserve and what they're owed. So this in general is not somebody who's like some type of outstanding citizen that just needs to be out here in the streets. Diddy was acquitted on the 3 major charges and convicted on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, which prohibits the interstate transportation of prostitutes. The Mann Act is rarely used for prosecutors as a singular charge. Most legal experts agree if Diddy's case only involved the Mann Act, no charges would have been filed against him. So there's that legal ambiguity that's allowed him to get where he is. And a lot of why he's been able to get away with the charges that he has likely has a lot to do with the way that the case was carried forward. So, the rest of this is just kind of going on and on. But here we're going to check out this video. This is from May. This video is from May of Trump saying, that he's not against pardoning Diddy. So let's check this out.
On Diddy Combs' legal team about a possible pardon.
Yeah, this would be very significant.
Oh, no, not that one. This one.
First of all, I'd look at, they're going to continue with that nonsense.
And this one's a little bit more of a page 6 question, but back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think so.
Again, basically what this means is,
if you give me the right price, I'll pardon you. I don't really care what you've done. If you give me enough money, if you give me some attention, if you tell me that I'm the greatest, that I'm a big, smart, brilliant boy,
then he'll pardon you. He'll get you out of trouble. Of course he will, because the best answer, of course, would have just been, no, I'm not going to pardon Diddy. Just like when he's been asked repeatedly if he plans to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. And instead of just saying no, he's like,
well, I have the right to do that. I could do that if I wanted to.
So
people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me.
You know, way back in the day, Diddy liked me, but then I ran for politics, and then, now he doesn't have such nice things to say about me, so I don't know.
And this is what Megyn Kelly actually brings up too, because her warning to Trump is that he risks alienating the female vote, which he's already suffering, especially as his term continues to progress. But a lot of her analogy is, hey, Diddy criticized you in 2020. And that type of stuff works with Trump. Like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't pardon him. But if you kiss his ass enough, he'll pardon you.
That there is talk that Diddy's lawyers have brought it to the White House and that they're the ones who gave deadline the quote, Trump is seriously considering a pardon for Sean Combs. I don't know whether Trump actually is, but I'm here to urge him not to even consider it, and much less to do it. It would be an absolute disaster. It would be a miscarriage of justice. He doesn't deserve it. Okay, first of all, just to put it in terms Trump can understand.
To put it in terms that Trump can understand. Forget all the legal aspect of it, the moral aspect of it, and the ethics of the whole situation. Let's put it into Trump terms. Let's put it in Trump language. He criticized you.
Diddy can't stand you, Mr. President. He was once nice to you. He's turned on you, and he doesn't deserve a favor from you, who he worked actively to stop in 2020.
See, again, at first she said Diddy doesn't deserve to be pardoned because of what he's done. But let me go ahead and switch this up into a language that Trump can understand. Diddy hasn't been kissing your ass lately. And unfortunately, that's the type of person that's in office. But, you know, we had this dude the first go round. We know what he was all about. We saw his second, his 2024 campaign. The dude ran for president 3 times in the last 10 years. We know what the man's all about. But yet and still millions of Americans chose this. And it's going pretty much just like we all told you it would.
Hey now. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and really helps to support what we do here.